Hi there, this is Chip Barkell coming in from Toronto, Canada, and I would like to do an intro to send out cards and relationship marketing. It has helped my business tremendously in real estate here in Toronto. I was a bit skeptical at first when I first found out. I thought, well, it's just a card. What is the big deal? But then I started using the service, and I, within 3 weeks, sent one card that led to a $56,000 commission. That was a $2.5 million listing. So I quickly became a convert and a believer, and I kept using it. And so far this year, I've gotten 38 referrals from Send Out Cards, totaling about $41 million. So it really does work. I'm just going to share my screen and go into a PowerPoint that I've got and talk a little bit about some of the terminology. As I said, I had just sold a condo, had nothing in my pipeline, decided, what do you have to lose with Send Out Cards? You've tried a lot of other things that didn't work. This might actually work. So I decided to use it. With relationship marketing, the important thing to remember is it's 80% relationship, 20% marketing. Too often that gets reversed, and people think it's about sell, sell, sell. Recently, a realtor asked me, how do you find houses to list? And I said, you don't. You find sellers who want to sell. This is a relationship business. So 80% relationship. Start with heart. One of my favorite quotes is, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And that's from Theodore Roosevelt. You want to reach people on an emotional level. We get too much junk mail, this house for sale, this house sold. That's not reaching us on an emotional level. A lot of that just goes into the recycle bin. There is another expression that I've heard many times. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. We can morph that a little bit. They not only have to know, like, and trust you, but you want to have a relationship with them. People often ask, how do I get into a higher price bracket? Most of the time, people that want to buy or sell in a higher price bracket have a relationship with their realtor. So you need to build that relationship as well. That's very important. Send Out Cards is the biggest customer of the United States Postal Service in terms of first-class mail. We've sent over 70 million cards since 2004. Again, relationship over marketing, you want to come from the heart. They have two different types of heartfelt cards, which are single send immediate cards. If I sit down to my computer or my phone and decide I'm going to send Joe a card because I just ran into Joe and we had an interesting conversation, that's not a card that I'm going to send to somebody else. So it's single send, immediate. There are also system send cards. So I can schedule a card, much like a birthday card or an anniversary card, or if I know people have bought a house with me, I can schedule a home anniversary card for the future. Or if I'm going to send a card more than once, holiday cards, I send out a couple of 100 Thanksgiving cards and New Year's cards, happy spring, and then again in the summer, about quarterly to my top 200 or so. They're system send cards because the system's going to send that group of cards out more than once. So we want to bring the heart back into business through the art of relationship marketing and the power of a human connection. That human connection is really important. I remember a few years ago is when I first started using Send Out Cards. I was driving down the street of a neighbor a few blocks away. She's elderly and loves the garden. Well, it was late March, still winter in Toronto, but we're getting that itch to get in the garden or get to your lake cottage or whatever you do in the summer. So I thought, I'm going to send her a happy spring card. I'll bet she's looking forward to getting into the garden. That was a prompting that I had to reach somebody on a personal level, make that human connection. And that resulted in her calling, wanting more information, saying they were ready to sell, they were elderly, and I ended up listing and selling her home for over $2 million. Here's some examples of heartfelt cards. This is actually the very first card that I ever sent out. This card, I was talking to a couple that I know, wife, her husband had died, and she said, it'll be a year next week that Bob died. And I thought, oh, you can't go to the card store and buy a card for something like that, but I just started to send out cards. And I remembered he was a Marine, and at his funeral there was an honor guard. And I had snapped a picture on my phone from the year before. So I went and got that picture and put it on the front of the card with "We will always remember," put a picture of the two of them on the inside with a message. He was 83, going on 84 years old. It was kind of his time, but I wanted to let her know that I was thinking of her. This was 3.5 years ago. She has that card still on display in her dining room on her buffet, and she said to me recently, I know that card is from Bob's funeral, but every time I look at it, it makes me smile and it gives me a great deal of comfort. So that's kind of priceless. And that's really this is the epitome of a heartfelt card. Another heartfelt card, young realtor in Florida, wanted information on send out cards. I called him and he said, look, dude, this is a really bad time. My girlfriend just had a baby and my in-laws are here and it's kind of crazy. It's like, what, you just had a baby? It's a girl or a boy? And you could hear the pride in his voice. He said, I had a son. So of course I asked the name of the baby and I said, look, you need to spend time with your family. I will be here. Send out cards will be here when you're ready. Let's talk, give me a call when you're ready. So I made this card, put the baby's name on the front of the card, and I went to his Facebook page, and this was his cover shot. And I thought it was very intimate and very touching for a new father. And I just said, love has a new name today. Again, this was somebody I didn't know, but it led to a relationship. Since then, he refers to me as Uncle Chip. I went to Florida last year, and he took me out to dinner. I met the baby, met his girlfriend, and now we have a real relationship. So it certainly has built that relationship. Another heartfelt card for real estate. I helped a couple buy the house in the middle that I span the left and right panel of the card. I just said, focus on the dream, not the journey. Thank you for allowing me to help you achieve your dream. It's a very exciting time. I can't wait to see you settled and how you make it your own. All the best, Chip. Now on the front, I put the house that they were going to list. I sent this as soon as I got the client relationship established. Within 12 hours, we were putting an offer in on the house they were buying, and it was accepted, and then we sold the house in the front. Notice on the back of the card, I have my branding. There's a picture of Toronto with my contact information. You always want to make the card about them, at least 80% of the time, but your back, the real estate on the back is for your branding, and so when they want to call you, they've got your number, your email, your contact information at their fingertips. I've personally been on the receiving end of a card and brownies, and the back branding was no phone number, no email. I wasn't even sure who the person was, and it made it difficult to track them down and call and say, I want to thank you for doing that, because I did appreciate it. Here's a system send card. This is a happy spring card. It actually started out as a heartfelt card for one particular person, an older 97-year-old person, a woman who still living in her house, who I just felt needed some cheering. Went home, made a happy spring card, made it as colorful as possible. She's a veteran, a widow of a war veteran, so I included my support of wounded warriors there as well. And then when I was finished doing it, I decided to send this to more than just her. So I sent to 115 people, and one of the people that received the card is the person that referred this couple. So these two transactions came directly from this card. Another system send card, as I said, 80% of the time you want to make it about them. The other 20% of the time you can do a little bit of marketing. So in the summertime, I send out this ice cream card. Summertime is for more than enjoying an ice cream cone or two. It's a great time to get your house ready for the busy fall market. Let's talk while there's plenty of time. Free ice cream with every listing appointment. And then I showed over the last year, prices actually came down 6%, 6.6%. And I like to say no one is selling until they're ready to sell, until they're actually selling. One day they wake up and something is selling. Feel free to pass along somebody who might be. Another system send is New Year's card. Happy New Year. This is for 2018. 2018 is a new year standing before us like a blank chapter in a book waiting to be written. May yours be full of exciting times and new adventures. What's on your bucket list? What will you cross out this year? I wish you a happy, healthy, and successful new year ahead. And fun, don't forget fun. Notice I'm not selling anything here. I'm not saying buy for me. I'm just saying, you know what? I want thinking of you. It's New Year's, and I want to wish you well. And another example of a system send that could be scheduled is birthday card. And notice it says first name, it's underlined. So if I send out 50 of these in a month, it will personalize it. Chip, today we celebrate you. Gail, today we celebrate you. Whoever the recipient is. And I've gotten many calls from people saying, that was such a nice card, thank you so much, it's lovely. It's they didn't feel like it was a form letter that they had received. Another system send, my clients were going to celebrate their 3rd anniversary in their house. This is a couple of years ago, so we're up to year 5 now. I was going to be away on vacation, so I decided to schedule this card so I wouldn't miss the holiday, the anniversary. So I just said, Peter and Pamela, happy 3rd anniversary. I'm honored to join you on the journey of such an important life event. You breathed new life into 28 Lorne. It was a 100-year-old home that they did quite extensive renovations to. And that's why I said, so I would make it personal. Notice I span the inside left and right panels with the photograph. So when they open up the card, it's quite impressive. It's like, oh, that's our house. It's something I like to do, and it has a big impact. Another system send, in Veterans Day in Canada and UK, it's called Remembrance Day. So I like to send this out to people that are either veterans or widows of veterans or people, military service. So I just said, lest we forget, thank you for your service and contribution to our country. We'll always remember. One of my clients, he said to me with tears in his eyes, I'm 91 years old. I've never, ever gotten a card like this. And I said, well, then it's long overdue. Thank you for your service. This year's Remembrance Day card included a coin that Canada minted for the occasion. And I found this beautiful photograph. Again, I like to span the inside of the card. Remember all of those who have sacrificed days, months, years, and their lives in service to our country. Thank you for your service to our country. And you can't really read it well. There's a poem on the left side called Liberty's Emblem. It was a poem that was written during World War I by my grandfather. So again, a way of making it personal and share some of my life with them. And I certainly got some good feedback. People appreciated being able to read it. And because these are military, again, my support of wounded warriors is on the back. Here's some other examples of card backs that I use. If it's for a wedding or a sympathy card, sometimes I'll put the heart on the back. If it's somebody that knows me and it's a sympathy card, I won't put my branding. But if I'm not sure, they'll put the face with the name. I'll include my branding as well. But otherwise, all my cards get branding, with the exception of maybe Christmas. Anybody gets a Christmas card from me, they know I'm a realtor, they know who I am. People often say, who do you send cards to? Well, any reason to send a card. I don't discriminate, I send everybody. Nice to meet you, Happy New Year, Happy Spring, birthday, home anniversary purchase, sympathy cards, as I mentioned, Thank you for listing presentations or new listings. Congratulations on your purchase sale, even cancer diagnosis. I had a friend whose girlfriend was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I made a card with pink ribbons and just an inspirational thinking of you kind of card, wishing you well. She referred me to her hairdresser within a few weeks. Well, that's not why I sent the card, but obviously she appreciated it. Thank you for referral partners. When people refer me business, I get a card out to them immediately, usually with brownies attached as well. Get well, graduation, babies, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, volunteer work, trades. I had my house worked on a couple of years ago. Plumbers, tape, drywall guys, people do the plastering and taping, electricians, tile setters, they all got a card thanking them for the work that they did. Thank you for having us to dinner, wedding congratulations, death of a pet. You're really not limited only by your imagination. Employees, when's the last time those of you with a business actually thanked or appreciate your employees? So that's another reason to send cards and show appreciation and show your thanks. There are many plans available on the system. You can join for free in a basic account. That costs you $2.75 a card plus $1 for postage. So if you're kicking tires, that's not a bad place to start for 1 or 2 cards. If you're going to send more cards for $17 a month, your card price will drop to $2.25. And there's no extra charge for photographs. You're also going to get a 15% discount on gifts and also have access to the CRM, which comes with the system. For $37, I have a new plan called a card a day. That gives you 30 heartfelt cards per month. So you can send them all on the first day if you want for $37. So their price, I haven't figured out the price lately, but it's certainly way under $2. Any extra cards would be $2 for heartfelt and any system sends as well. You're going to enjoy a 20% discount on gifts. And you, of course, you have access to the CRM as well. It's a brand new plan, and I think it's a great place to get started. I think of this plan as training wheels, if you will, because the next plan, the unlimited plan, which is $97 a month, seems like a big jump. It's an extra $60. However, the heartfelt cards, you have unlimited cards, and they pay for postage. So if you were to send 100 cards in a month, in the States, $55 out of that $97 would be for postage. In Canada, it would be $87 out of the $97 for postage. So in the States, if you send 100 cards, you're paying 42 cents a card. In Canada, you're only paying 10 cents a card. So it's a really great deal. You also get premier discounted shipping. They've looked at about 90% of the gifts, like brownies and cookies, and said, okay, which ones are people selling? We're going to give you discount on the shipping on those gifts. If you have additional cards, system send cards that you're going to send, remember the 97 only covers heartfelt cards. They're $1.75 for system sends. You have the relationship manager, and you also have the ability to create campaigns. You can be a customer only, get on a plan and send cards, or you, for $59, you can be a referral partner and work up to getting your plan paid for if you'd like. There are additional add-ons that you can get for a system package, for example. If you know you're going to send a lot of scheduled or group send cards, 300 cards for $395 is about $1.31 a card. However, even if you send all 300 on the first day, you enjoy that $1.31 discount for 12 months. On top of that, you have access to the campaign store. Campaign store has drip campaigns of cards, either 5 card touches or 3 card touches, that normally sell for $85 or $135, and they are free. So it really brings the price down dramatically. So this is what some of the campaigns look like. This $85 one has 3 touches. This one's 5 touches. It might be congratulations on your new home. 3 months later, there might be another card. 6 months later, another card, asking for referrals, maybe a birthday card and a Christmas card. You can edit them and change them around if you'd like. People often say, well, I want to make sure that my handwriting is there. You can purchase your handwriting font for $49, but you can also get what I call designer cards. The system calls them first impressions cards. They're a series of black and white, thank you, great to meet you, and celebrating possibilities. I use these all the time for people that I've met in a professional setting. I don't have to think about it, nice to meet you. I might put their photograph or their logo on the inside of the card, or maybe their business card, and I just say, nice to meet you. I reference some of our conversation where we met, and off it goes. So there are a couple of the add-ons that you might want to use. I'm going to switch over to the system and show you how Send Out Cards works, how easy it is to send a card. When I click on the button Send a Card, I have the choice. I can go to the catalog if I'm not feeling very creative, and I can find cards that are in the system that are already designed. This is one that I use a lot for get well cards. A large dose of chocolate will cure just about anything. I can send that with a couple of brownies, and it's a nice touch. When I send the card, I can customize the inside of the card. This one says, now suck it up and get better. Not everyone's going to appreciate that message. So if I want, I can go in and customize the card, and I can get rid of that message and create my own message on the inside. I can add photographs. If I just go over to layouts and change that side panel to text, their message disappears and I can add my own message. I'll show you an example of one that I sent out. I have a friend who is 98 years old, and at Christmas she was in the hospital and it did not look good. It looked really serious, but she said, you know, I'm going to fight this. And it turned out it was something very minor. So I sent her that chocolate card, and I changed the background to chocolate brown, put her picture, glad you're feeling better, got rid of the suck it up and get better message, and put my own message there, and then notice the back branding as well. So you can also personalize those catalog cards. And there's all kinds of cards in the catalog, hundreds of cards in the catalog, probably thousands, I haven't really counted. There's also what they call photo drop cards. These all have a photograph on the front, and they expect you to change the photograph to suit you. So I sometimes use these for baby cards. Here's one here that says, sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in our hearts, or your heart, and it expects you to put your own baby picture in there. So these, you get to change the front. And I think I probably have a baby here somewhere. I sent out a baby picture not too long ago. There's one there. And so I can just center it. Very sweet little baby. And then I can, again, on the inside, I can add additional photographs if I want. Notice I have all sorts of layouts. If I have lots of pictures, I can add lots of pictures. Just go through and find some other. I think that one is Dad with the baby. Unfortunately, it's a little bit small, so Dad's going to get cut off. There's another picture of Dad, and there's another picture of the baby. As when people have babies, they always take lots of pictures. And there's a picture of Mom with the baby. If I decided, you know what, that's not giving, you know, I want to change the layout, I can change the layout to something else. Let me see here. Maybe give Dad, you know, and then I can put my message at the bottom, whatever it happens to be. Enjoy your baby, welcome to the world, whatever it happens to be. Again, my back branding is going to go on the back. Make sure that I have something that is appropriate, something that I like. And I might use that one. And then when I send this out, depending on who I send it to, this is a heartfelt card. I've never sent this before, and it's going to be free on the plan that I'm on. So I'm just going to type in my own name since I'm not really going to send this, but I want to show you that when I go to send it, it's going to be free. So free for the card and free for the postage. I can send unlimited for that $97 a month. And then again, I can design my own cards and the build your own. Usually I do the vertical cards rather than a horizontal card because they stand up better on the shelf. And people, if you make the card personal enough, people are going to hold on to that card forever. And at first I didn't believe that, but I've learned from experience that's very true. So there's my build your own vertical card. I can go in and I can do a flat card, which comes in an envelope, a 2-panel card, a 3-panel card, and that's for the same price, or a really big card which is an 8 by 10, which basically is the size of a piece of paper. It's this big, for $1.50 extra. I can do standard paper, which is kind of a semi-gloss, satin or pearl, which are matte finish. So I'm just going to do a 2-panel card and find something cheery. I just did some back to school cards today for my nieces and nephews. So I'm just going to scroll down to these sunflowers, which are kind of cheery, and that will be on the front of the card. If I want to, I can add some text to the front of the card. Add a text box here and just say, nice to meet you. And I can make that a little bit bigger. And I can also change the color so that something's going to actually show up. And I can also, if I grab that in the right spot, oops, place. Nice to meet you. Don't normally put words on the front of the card, so I'm going to go back. Cancel this and go back to my layouts, and I'll put the message on the inside. So on the inside, this is where I can say, nice to meet you. I usually don't put words on the front. It's a little bit of a mystery. People say, oh, what's this? I can do something like this. And since I went ahead with the yellow on the front, sunflowers, I can also make the inside colorful as well. And then I always like to put the date on the card. Today's the 3rd of September, 2019. And whoever the person is. Now, if I'm going to send this to more than one person, I can choose first name. It's going to fill the first name in for me automatically. So nice to meet you the other day at Frank's Pizza House. I enjoyed our conversation. And hope we can keep in touch. All the best. So you notice I'm not selling anything. I'm just saying it was nice to meet you, celebrating them, appreciating them. I can change the inside font to something that's either a little bit more fun, handwriting font, this font that's a little bit fun, something very professional if I want, or this original surfer. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll leave my name in a more of a handwriting font, and I'll make that a little bit bigger, and I'll change it to blue, just because it's going to stand out a little bit more. And so that's that, and I go to the back. If I want to change the back to something else, I can find something else that I like better. Something like this. And again, once I save and send this card, it will be a heartfelt card, so it will be free. I'm just going to add a recipient. And you'll notice when it comes back ready to send, the card is free and the postage is free. So I can just send that off. And if I wanted to, I could have added brownies or cookies. I would have to pay for the brownies and the postage, but that's okay. So that hopefully gives you an idea of what Send Out Cards is all about. I have, in the CRM, you can also keep track of every card you've ever sent someone. For example, let's see. I met this man, he's a builder, over pizza. And he gave me his card, said, please keep in touch. So this was a great to meet you card. Put his picture on the inside, the message saying it was nice to meet you, enjoyed our conversation, wishing you all the best, send him some brownies. He called me all excited like a kid on Christmas, thank you so much, I think we can do some business. The next day he emailed me with asking me to take a listing for one of his investment properties. Then he referred me to another builder. A couple weeks later, I sent a thank you, again with more brownies. Everyone loves a great referral. And then sent that off. We became friends over time. So that started a year ago, April. And then by Thanksgiving, I sent him a Thanksgiving card. Again, not anything about business, just happy Thanksgiving. And then we were invited to the same Thanksgiving dinner, and I got to meet his girlfriend. And during that dinner, they announced they're going to have a baby. So, of course, I took the picture, sent them a congratulations card, wishing you well. And then eventually, Christmas came along. They got a Christmas card. Christmas is the only card that I don't brand the back. This is a 3-panel card, so lots of pictures. Anybody gets a Christmas card from me, they know who I am. New Year's card, this was this version for this particular year, 2019. And then he had a birthday, and then the baby came along. So, of course, the baby card, welcome to the world, and wishing them well. And then on the back, remember that it's a boy, it's a girl, so I included that as well. Rather than my branding, I included their picture on the back. So that gives you an idea, again, the happy spring you've seen. And then this year was his first Father's Day. So I did a Father's Day card to about 60 people that I know. And not all heroes wear capes. Dad is such a small word for such a big job. Happy Father's Day to Mom and Dad. So again, it's about celebrating people and letting them know that you appreciate them. So hopefully, let me just see if there are any questions that I can see from the system. You can always follow up with me. If you Google my name, Chip Barkell, you will find me. And you will find me. Or you can go to itsneverjustacard.com. And there's information there on joining the system. I always recommend that you join the system with a sponsor so that person can help train you and support you and mentor to maximize the value into your business. What else? So that's pretty much it. You can also create campaign cards. If you have a card that you know you're going to send out over and over and over again, you can create that card as a campaign. I've done that with my birthday card. So this particular card, I change it every year and do the card. So a little quote that I particularly liked on the front: studies show that people with the most birthdays live the longest, a little bit of humor. And then just a message, whoever is receiving it, your special day, I wish you luck and love. Hope this wonderful day will fill your heart with joy and blessings. Have a fabulous, fantastic birthday. Celebrate happiness every day of your life. And then the back branding. Now, how I send that out is I just go into my relationship manager and say, okay, who has a birthday coming up in, let's say, October? and I'm going to find a certain number. In this case, it's 59 people. I go into my campaigns, and I can type birthday. Actually, I shouldn't have hit enter. Let me go back, try that again. So do that one more time. Birthdays, October. And then select campaign, BIRTH. There's my birthday 2019. When I submit it, it will load that in. And at the bottom, it's going to show me who's going to receive the card. I always go through this list just to make sure that I really want to send everybody a card. Last November, I had 3 people who had died. So I want to make sure that if there's people that I don't want to send, I can delete them from the list, and then go on and just make sure everybody is people that I really want to send the card to. When I'm ready, I click ready to send. It's going to tell me how much it's going to charge me for the 58 cards and how much the shipping is. So in this case, I've already bought that system package, so I've paid for those cards. I paid for those cards, so it's saying that, you know, I'm not paying for the cards. They're prepaid, and the shipping is $36. So for $37.41, plus another $58 on the prepaid cards, I'm going to send out 58 cards. So it's a pretty good deal. If you're on a system send package, you're paying $1.31 for the card and maybe 55 cents for the postage in the States. So it's around $2 a card, something like that. And if I want to cancel, I can just cancel the order and worry about that. I normally do that the month before the birthdays, middle of the month, so I don't miss anybody. So I think I've covered most of the hot spots for how I would use this in real estate. I'm happy to do a one-on-one demonstration with anyone if you would like. Again, you can just get in touch with me, chipbarkell@gmail.com, or it's my website, www.itsneverjustacard.com. So thank you very much for listening today, and let me know what you think. I would love to, also if you want to go to my itsneverjustacard.com, you can actually send a free card, including postage, anywhere in the world. Just scroll to the bottom and send a card, and or you can join for free and explore it. You would only pay if you're actually sending cards. So thank you very much for coming today. Look forward to chatting with you and seeing what you found, how you found it useful. Thanks again.